It's the next day. We managed to get all the hay in yesterday, all the packs. There was a couple of wet ones with wet jackets, but we've just stood them out in the sunshine today to dry off. They weren't too bad in the end. Obviously we round baled up. Keithy and Farmer came and had a little go with the combine. I'll show you the little pile they got. They barely got set up and then the rain came, so that stopped them as well. But they got the first little load in here. We are running grain cart this afternoon. We've already had a morning. We've already had a morning on it. Let's bring some of this outside. We've already had a morning going out pulling a couple of the bulls out. It was a foggy start, so we thought, right, we'll quickly whip out, set the pen up and get the bulls taken out because it's time for them to come out. Okie dokie. Right, there's the sample. That isn't the nicest of samples in my eyes. Yeah, there's some nice grains in there, and there's some short ones, and there's some shriveled ones as well. We wondered how it was going to fare this year, because when you need your sunshine for ripening the plant, we just haven't had it. We just had the time for sunshine just never came. From the stage of flowering up until the ripening part, you need a prolonged spell of sunshine to make the grain do well, and we never got it. So we don't know what it's going to quite do. I'm all over the place at the minute. I'm just getting set up. Anyway, we've got the nice hire trailer on, hooked onto the air brakes, just to make sure everything works. Tip it up, it's like a lock, save you tipping it. Save you tipping it, accidentally tipping your grain out down the road. Or if you're changing tractor overnight and you've got a load of grain in there, you can, it won't release the hydraulic pressure and tip it all over the floor. Anyway, got a grain pusher here, that's the dryer. It's not set up, that is in its mobile state like that, but if the weather changes and we got to set it up, we'll set it up. But it's no issue. It's got a bucket, we've got a pusher, and we'll push up as we go. Farmer's got some fettling, some setting up. He was still setting up yesterday, changing some sieve settings and stuff like that to make sure we get every grain we can get. I think there's about 200 acres, roughly thereabouts, to bring in. It should take us, you know, you had 3 good days, it'll be done. We are going to bale up the straw. Hopefully into small bales, probably some round bales. It will all get baled. He'll be doing a moisture test to make sure it's dry enough. We can't put it at Jim's, well we can, but if it's over 16% we have to then dry it, so it's got to be under 15. I can't remember, I think it's 16%. The grain people take it at 16. If it's 17%, they will charge you for drying, because the grain is carrying water, so it's carrying more weight and it's heavier. So then they'll charge you to dry it down. So you want to bring it in dry. Pretty big field. This one's 60 acres. This one. Be nice to get this done this afternoon. I don't know if we'll get it. This is Zayat. It's a milling wheat variety. It's the best we've got in terms of winter wheat for us to cut. So this is over at Jim's farm. So next year these they used to have you know, half this farm is now what they call overwinter stubbles. So the farm goes way on that way. We can now start topping that. So Davo will be in this weekend. He'll start topping off the stubbles, and then we'll get in there with a discorator, get some legs through the soil, start prepping it for winter wheat next year. Then this will get rested. We'll take the straw off this, and then it can't be touched then until next May. And that's the way it's working at the moment over here. We used to do the whole lot in one go, you know, we'd have 2 separate crops and rotate them. Used to be lights going off already. Used to be a lot of oilseed rape, and then winter wheat. But since they banned that seed dressing, you just can't, you daren't grow it. It's so risky. It's so expensive to grow, it's just ridiculous. So yes, I don't think Farmer will ever risk it unless it's a dead cert crop. You know, if you've got a dead cert crop out of it, he might risk growing it. Do our best to keep our wheelings off the straw. We do our best to keep our wheelings on the tram lines. You can't do it everywhere, but we try. There's combine. How much of the combine we'll see this year, I don't know. It's been full on in terms of workload. I haven't got you the best, I haven't got you the most pleasing of shots throughout, you know, harvest and haymaking. It's just been a real chore this year, because it's just, you know, you get an easy year where it's dry and it's all right, but the farmer will get to the end of the road before he unloads on us. So instead of ruining the straw, we'll just put one wheel on the tram line. Plenty dusty. Really annoys me that he doesn't wash the combine. I like to see it all sparkly and clean, but he doesn't like to run water all over it. But that's his preference, I guess. Whoa, 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 what happened here? Drill man missed a bit. What? How did that happen? This tractor keeps changing gear on me for no reason, and I don't know why. Certain conditions, this trail is not the easiest to see in. Everybody has their own way of doing it. You want to fill the back up first if you can. Combine's always changing speeds and always watching his header, so it's your job to fill them back up. Oh, I guess that's the back full up. Running out. Get off the straw. Some people work it so they'll cut a line up so they can unload each side. Farmer usually ends up tipping one way all the time. He will usually cut 4 times around the field. We will have to follow him round because he won't make it round. Just going to run round the headland, keep the weight off the field. Anyway, we planted this one and it was, what was it? Was it tricky going? I can't remember. We started it in the night, I remember that. We started planting it in the night. Couldn't see me mark, as per usual. Alright, we've got the first load on. We're still not. We've just been checking the tailings, so we lift up the row of straw and we have a look underneath and we see how many you've got dotted about in a certain area. So you take your hand in, for example, and you only want to see, I don't know, 4 or 5 grains at the max. There is a calculation that everyone will tell you about, but basically you don't want to see too many grains on the floor, because obviously you want to put them in your tank, you want to take them in, and we've got a little bit more than we would like to admit. So farmers just change a couple of sieve settings. Once we find the right settings and keep 99% of it in the combine, we'll be happy. There's always a compromise with weather, speed. The faster you go, the more you'll chuck over the back. You always got weather chasing you, so you know you can only do this job when it's dry. And when you've got so much to do, you've got to go at a certain speed. So you've got to have an acceptable amount of losses, they would call it. Now, if you're doing a small amount of harvesting, you can do it all on a nice day, and you can go really slow and get it all in the tank, no problem. But if you've got a lot to do and a lot to get around, you've got to then go a little bit faster, and you've got to then throw a little bit over the back. And we're not talking masses, we're just talking, you know, everybody has an acceptable amount of what they want to chuck over the back. But at the minute, it's too much, we don't like it. So farm's got a few things he's going to change. He's just changed a sieve setting, a manual sieve setting in the back of the combine. The 2 main ones are done inside the combine, so we changed that. We're also going to change the combining speed to see what that does to the, he said there's a lot out here. It was reading 11 tons to the hectare, so I will work that out for you in a minute. I can't do that off the top of my head, but it'll be over 3.5 ton, I'm sure. It'll be 4 tons, something like that. Anyway, we've got to run back, because he will be full. If he's got a big yield, you know, we will be full very shortly. So we're going to tip it, come back. It's only just ready as well. It's 15.5% in moisture, so it's the right moisture, but it's only just there. You know, if we'd have come any earlier, it wouldn't have been any point. So right, we're going to crack on for a bit, see if we can get these settings figured out, and it'll be on my backwards and forwards for trailers. Right, we're going in the big side this time. Last year I had a little boo-boo. I've repaired it, but I did have a little boo-boo. One of the bolts on the side of the trailer was sticking out. I got a little bit close to the barn. It was the small side going in. And yes, I did get a little bit close. But this side is pretty nice and easy to get into. Once you got it in the door, you can lift her up. We're going to need a bit more flow than that. That's it. That's all we get, is it? What's going on there then? Bit of a dark shed, this one, so you just have to sort of bear with. Get the piles somewhat next to each other. Tip her out, and we will get the grain pusher in. Once we got 4 along the back, we'll get the grain pusher in, just start heaping it up. Watch the roof with your trailer, obviously. Let her down and make sure she's down below the door before you come out. Shut your back door, and then straight back to the combine, who will most likely have another tank. Anyway, these trailers are beautiful. We could, oh man, if we could own one of these, Christ. They are, you know, we would ruin it. We would put muck in it, we'd put rocks in it, we'd ruin it, you know, it's too nice for a trailer for us. As we work closer and closer to the grain barn, it will actually be a bit easier. We're probably the furthest away, I would probably say. There's one field over there that's quite far away. You know, we still got, you know, even those fields look alright, there's still loads of wet patches in them. It's not going to be like last year, you know, we're not going to have the amount like last year, I don't think. and the quality just looks a little bit down on last year. First glances, you know, that might change field on field, which is a shame because yeah, it's just been a really strange year. So next year will be different. Anyway, I'm going to get on the phone today though and get him running that topper and get that set aside done. Once we got those set aside topped off, we can then start working them fields. And a lot of work happens from now until October, a lot of work. And you guys will be watching this probably in December, January time, and I apologise for that. It's always the same for us. I have no time in the evenings. We're getting home at 10 o'clock in the evening, and my editing time is right, you just have none. I don't know how these old boys do it. They must have people working for them. I had a quite a funny comment on YouTube the other day. A man said, you know, we were doing quite a serious amount of bales for a day. It was, I think we were over 4,000. We were pretty happy with it. And then I had a comment on the YouTube saying that wasn't a very large amount. He did 10,000 bales in a day. What else was it? Something stupid. It was just a stupid comment. I can't stand them. If you're here to make a stupid comment, I will either do one or two things. I will either just ignore it, or I'll delete it, and I'll probably delete you from watching the videos full stop. Anyway, we're going to go and check see if this sieve setting's done anything. Right, well, we've been doing, I'm really sorry I left you in the cab, but we've been doing some trying to figure out what's going on. We've been going slower, we've been changing the sieve settings, we've been upping the fan speed, we're lowering the fan speed, nothing's been working. Too much coming over the straw walkers. Farmer just opened one of the panels up, and straight away we've noticed a damaged belt in there. One belt had come off and it's running on one belt, and it's some sort of straw beater, he calls it. It was in for service in the winter, and it's probably just a belt that got missed. But the problem is, to get at that belt, it is all the main drive belts off. It's one right at the very back. So it might stop us for the day. We're just going to ring our service people from Turney's, see what they say. But we've slipped, the old belt was still intact, it just slipped off. So we've tightened it up, put it back on. It's running for now. It's got to be replaced soon as possible, really. It might stop us for the day. They might say no, stop it, because it might do some damage if it breaks the other belt. So yes, but we found the problem. We thought, Christ almighty, it's not usual, you know, usually chucking that amount over the back, you know, they're really good for losses usually. Anyway, it was more than normal, so we sort of rang alarm bells, and he was on the phone to the serviceman at the time saying, you know, I think there's something wrong with this thing because it's chucking too much over. So anyway, we're going to might have to stop for the night. Don't like stopping, we do not like stopping. You know, that guy who serviced Conway, he's pretty meticulous. He's just they're so bloody complicated and there's so much going on. He's just missed it. It's just what it is, you know. So we need to get the belt replaced. It's going to mean some downtime. It's going to be annoying, but they will, I'm sure they will get us sorted pretty quick. They're pretty good down at our Turney's New Holland dealership, so they are pretty good down there. They're really on it, them guys from there. So farmer said in places it's reading 12 tonne to the hectare, which I don't know what that is. 12 tonnes, it's 2.5 tonne to the acre. 2.5, 5 is 2 tonnes, 10 is 4 tonne. Oh yeah, it's doing well then. It won't average out. There's massive wet hole spots in all fields. It won't average out across the lot, but it might average 3.5 tonne. We'd still take that. We'd still be happy with that. If it averaged 3.5 tonne all over, we'd be like, yeah, that'll do. If there weren't the wet holes and it averaged 4.5 ton, we'd be like, flipping hell, that's a bumper crop. Anyway, we're going to crack on for a bit. I'll come back with an update, see what we're going to do. We get this tipped in the shed. We might just give this one a moisture meter test while Farmer's waiting to see whether it's worth to keep going. Davo's just finished his college course. He's just passed, so he's happy chappy. He's yeah, he'll be in this weekend. He's our topper man. He's on the topper. He'll be sorting that set aside out. Probably going to end the video there because yeah, we've just noticed you know, each pulley drives another thing on the combine, so that the thing that drives that pulley also drives something else. We just noticed it drives, I think it drives the returns, or the auger for the returns, and if it were to snap, then the next thing down the line stops working, then that starts slipping and just creates havoc. So we are gonna stop for the evening. It's a shame, we could have kept going, but it is only just fit. So, you know, there's the guys said they would have come tonight. They did say they'll be here tonight, but it's a 3-hour fix, so by the time they've fixed it, they're not going until tomorrow anyway, so they might as well just come in the morning, fix it up, we'll be back rolling, hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow afternoon. He's also going to get the guys just to check everything over and make sure we're not missing anything with the settings, so we're just going to, while they're here, just get them, double check everything. There we go, there's lots to go at. We've still got 3 good days here, but once we get going, we'll be up and rolling. So the main thing is to get the thing fixed. We're going to go and get the last 2 bulls in tomorrow morning, and then we'll get up here. There's some straw to bale, so the guys can start on the straw. That's been left out for 2 days now, so they can start on that. There'll be 1,000 bales of straw to come home, so that'll be good. As long as the weather plays ball as well, it doesn't rain, then it'll be alright. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I hope the videos are doing you well enough. It's been pretty relentless this time. But yeah, lots coming up, lots to come. There we go. Right, I'm going to take trailers off and bring a trailer back with us tomorrow.